languishing not of his own decisions, but because the US empire has decided to criminalize journalism. And these institutions behind us, NBC, Fox, C-SPAN, they're complicit in it. They're silent. Their journalists and reporters did not cover this trial in the depth and birth that it should have been. It is a travesty to watch media organizations not defend their own basic jobs. It is the right of these organizations to share information that makes powerful people uncomfortable, that reveals crimes of the elite. These institutions have become stenographers to power. They no longer report the news as it is, but spin it to serve the intelligence communities, military, donors, or whoever else is in their pocket that given day. We're here to say we're not putting up with it anymore. We have an institution that provides us firsthand factual information. 10 years ago, we got one of the only reports, mass releases of firsthand documents about war crimes. No one has been prosecuted for those war crimes except Chelsea Manning, the whistleblower, and Julian Assange, the publisher. These institutions are silent on these crimes, and we must demand that that changes. Right now, their profession is held in 24-hour-a-day solitary confinement. Their profession is on trial by the US government, yet they do not do anything to defend themselves.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah!
Woo!
Steve!
Well said.
Steve!
CIA Steve.
Got a file on you.
Got it.
The United States government is seeking international jurisdiction over the press. The United States government is seeking to criminalize investigative journalism. The United States government is seeking to criminalize source protection for journalists. The United States government is seeking to criminalize publishing or receiving or sharing classified information. That means if any one of you has ever shared a social media post that contains classified information in a news report, you could be liable to be prosecuted under the Espionage Act of 1917 for hitting the share button on a social media platform. You! Does anybody have the funds for an Espionage Act court case? Anybody got, you guys, security, could you afford a lawyer to go to court against the government in case you accidentally hit a share on a social media post? They were like, we need to make an example of this guy. We'll show them what happens. And they go up against the government and they share a post. Picture yourself in court where you know that in espionage court, there's no such thing as a public interest defense. The jury never gets to find out why you shared that information or why you published that information, because it is illegal for them to have that information. Government would keep the jury ignorant in order to prove its case. Does that sound like justice? Does that sound like free and open court? Does that sound like an authoritarian regime hell-bent on controlling and subjugating its citizens? Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking sick of that.
Yep.
Absolutely fucking sick of it. I want to thank everyone for coming out. I feel like everybody should make some noise. I'm not entirely sure what you say.
That's what we're here for!
Come here, Glory Jones.
Okay. 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 What do you want me to say?
I want you to yell something new. What happened?
Because here's something that I wonder, is why the fucking cowardice from these spineless pricks? I'm 20 years old and I came here all the way from LA. Because my fucking future, my younger sister's future, and all of the youth future is at stake with this shit. Every day, every single day, the tentacles of the Mickey Mac complex, that's the military, industrial, congressional, intelligence, media, academia, think tank, people. But that's how the system's designed, isn't it? We can't secure some fucking agency here. We can't fucking protest. There's a protest bill going on in London right now. That gets criminalized every day. Before hopping off a plane here, I damn near had to dodge LAPD just for filming shit. This shit is draconian. It's gotta stop. What kind of society do we live in? Where Julian Assange, who used his hacking skills to help expose pedophiles, who exposed fucking war crimes, who exposed the NSA and the CIA spying on us, and others, for exposing all of those crimes. Where is he? In solitary fucking confinement, being tortured, freezing in Belmarsh prison while they hold his warm clothes in storage. Where did Chelsea Manning go? She got tortured. Plain and simple. What happened to Edward Snowden? Exile. Had his passport canceled and can't ever come in. What about David McBride? Facing trials for exposing war crimes. What about anonymous hackers everywhere? Having to fucking flee everywhere. Remain anonymous because they're not welcome anywhere. Meanwhile, let's look at the lovely war criminals in power. Joe Biden!
Yeah.
Joe, I don't want my kids to grow up in a racial jungle, Biden. Fucking racist, corporatist, imperialist troll of the national security state. That's where Joe Biden is, right there. In that fucking sorry-ass fucking building. Well, that's actually the Capitol, but... But hey, let's talk about some of the people in there. Some of the fucking war criminals in there, too. Calling for the Ministry of Truth, AOC. Calling for independent media to be silenced. When you know damn well all we're doing is filming shit. What do you have against freedom of speech? What do you have against people trying to share information? All of you fucks in the Capitol. What do you have against that? Oh, don't even get me started on fucking Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo!
Who's that?
Oh, only the former CIA director and our Secretary of State. Because hey, while these fucks, how the fuck are you gonna sit there in a room when Jen Psaki is going on and on about how much this administration cares about freedom of the press? How the fuck are you chumps gonna stay there and not say shit about the torture of Julian Assange? Woo. How the fuck? I don't want Mike Pompeo taking another step anywhere without people reminding him everywhere we go. Hey, remember that one time where you admitted that as the director of the CIA? Hey, I was the director of the CIA. We lied, we cheated, we stole. We had whole training courses dedicated to that. It reminds me of the glory of the American experiment. And where's Mike Pompeo? Oh, he's not in the same position as Julian Assange, or Chelsea Manning, or Edward Snowden, or David McBride, or wasn't in the same position as Daniel Ellsberg, or anyone. So that's why we're here, because I appreciate every single buddy here for coming out to help secure some fucking agency for a change. Because the door is literally closed. The door is closed. We can't talk about any other issue until we open the door to get in the room. Until we open the door that is the national security state. Because yes, we have one. Granted, no one else, and none of these fucking cowards are gonna recognize that. Yes, we have one. So open that fucking door. Let's start addressing this shit. Let's free Julian Assange, secure his freedom, throw out that trash fucking decision by concierge of the State Department, Vanessa Beret, military-industrial complex. So, let's secure Julian's freedom, throw away that trash-ass fucking case, and then begin to actually secure some agency here. Yeah. Andrew?
So we have a special guest with us, Mr. Rush from the LaRouche organization. So I'm going to invite him up now to say a couple words.
Okay. Is this working? Great. Thanks a lot, Andrew. I'm here to express total support for the Free Assange fight on behalf of the LaRouche organization. We particularly, Andrew has been bringing this fight onto a number of our forums, our Schiller Institute and other events, along with the case of Ed Snowden and others. The fight of the VIPs, the Veteran Intelligence Professionals for Sanity, what Bill Binney, Kirk Wheatley, Ray McGovern, and others have done are real heroes. And everyone here is a hero. And the fight that we're involved in and you are involved in is bigger than the issue of justice by itself, sufficient as that is. And the speaker just before here was alluding to it. We're dealing with efforts, you can call it a surveillance state, you can call it the deep state, the intelligence communities. It's now morphed with the London and Wall Street financial moguls and the whole Silicon Valley crap. It's a blob. LaRouche used to call it a slime mold. And what if anyone knows how a slime mold works, it's on the ground and all of a sudden it clumps together and it's suddenly something else. It's a disgusting operation. The point is that what the crowd that is persecuting Julian is not simply trying to silence him. They are attempting to make it impossible to confront a policy from these elites. The Davos group is in the middle of it, which is designed right now to basically use contrived artificial conflicts involving U.S. and Russia, U.S. and China, and so forth, in ways that can lead toward a world war. They want to kill Julian. They want to kill a lot of people. And they don't want voices of truth. Anybody who has the quality, it's almost a sublime quality of acting completely selflessly for something that they are going to pay a big penalty for. They don't want any examples like that to prevail or even survive. We know this in the LaRouche movement because LaRouche was hit with a ferocious defamation campaign and ferocious political persecution in the 1980s that included massive smears from many of these. NBC News right here had people involved with the CIA, with the intelligence services, with the FBI, directly putting out smears on LaRouche to isolate him and allow him then to be taken down in outrageously contrived trials. He was put in prison for 5 years. His life was in danger. We know the territory. The point is, if you don't back down, then the very fact they come at you that way becomes a liability for the apparatus that's running this persecution. And so what all of us here are involved in identifying and going after the crowd that's persecuting Julian and Ed Snowden and others, we're really going after people who are attempting to put together a global financial government that will be using contrived conflicts and wars to be able to prevent nations from defending their sovereignty, elected government, and the general welfare. There is right now among central bankers, led by the Bank of England, an effort to supersede through digital currencies and things like that, all national currencies and any elected government being able to direct credit to productive purposes. The gigantic bubbles are blowing. There's a real bum's rush to get us into conflicts with Russia, with China, and so forth. Redirect NATO to become a Southeast Asia police force. This is very dangerous stuff. So the fight for Julian The fight for Ed Snowden is a fight against this criminal apparatus. They are in danger precisely because their policies take down the economy so fast that most of Africa, much of the rest of the world, really faces a death sentence. If you lower all energy profiles to only wind and solar, you're condemning a lot of the poor areas of the world where there's not even electricity right now to an early death. So behind these policies is a Malthusian elite that thinks the world is overpopulated and we've got to get rid of the extra people. That's what they think. What Julian represents is the quality of truth, fighting for truth, which becomes contagious when people get any access to it all, and everyone here clearly is carrying that fight forward. So, as I say, on behalf of the LaRouche organization and our Schiller Institute, we are holding an online conference this weekend. People can look it up. We're going to be taking up these issues, the strategic vulnerabilities of the apparatus that has gone after Julian and is attempting to kill him. So thank you, and Godspeed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Painting Andrew. Painting Andrew.
Oh no, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. Sorry, Grandma's here. Say his name. Come on, say his name! Say his name! You know, I've been reading a lot of freedom of speech quotes lately. And one of the quotes I saw that really struck me was a quote by Idi Amin.
Free Assange!
Thank you. He said freedom of speech is guaranteed.
Hey, we're at the Department of Justice tomorrow.
Department of Justice tomorrow. Come by. Freedom of speech is guaranteed, but we can't guarantee freedom after speech. And that's the draconian measures we're living by today with Julian Assange. And I know you're going to hear a lot about what happened with Julian's case, but I often think about Julian the man, the person, the human being, and why he did what he did, and why he does what he does. And it really is all about love. And one of those famous speeches we talked about, one of those famous quotes by George Washington said, correct me if I'm wrong, without freedom of speech, the dumb and silent will be led like sheep to slaughter. And that's what's happening right now. If they can silence him, then they can do what they want. Just like this gentleman said right there. They think that we're overpopulated and they can kill us and they can destroy us and they can get rid of us simply by silencing us. So I just want to thank you all for coming out today, because I really do feel the love. It's all about the love. And that's what Julian's all about. I think about him as a human being, about the 7,000 days, I think 6,000 days he's been under house arrest. The 700 days now he's been in Belmarsh. I just think about his resiliency. And I thank you all for coming here, because I know there's not a shit ton of people, but it's just a rock going into the water. And the ripple will grow, and we will grow, and they will not silence us. And one day we hope to see Julian walk free. And when we see that, it's not just freedom for Julian, it's freedom for all of us.
Yeah.
Freedom for all of us! We are all Assange! Say his name!
Julian Assange!
One more time, louder, say his name!
Julian Assange!
Here comes Fiorella.
Why you gotta introduce her like that? First of all, thank you all for coming. I know many of you have come from very far away, and I know that takes time, money, and dedication to the cause. Why are we here? Why is Julian Assange so important? I hear from so many on the supposed left, why do these crazy Assange people focus so much on one man? He is but one man. What does he mean? What is his significance? The significance of Julian Assange is so much greater than him as a person. It is what he represents. Julian represents the ability of dissent, the ability of the human being to question the government and the entities that control this corporation of a nation, this just military base that we've become. people are attacking us, are attacking independent media, people like NBC News, Fox, CNN, which has the most spooks working for them, by the way. The reason they're attacking us is because we are actually winning. We are waking people up. We are a threat to their livelihood, to their propagandists, stenographers of the national security state. That is why they're coming for us. And if they come for him, they will come for every single one of us. That's why Julian is so important. Of course, he released so much vital information that opened the eyes of so many people to what this supposed great nation is. It is not a great nation. We are not free. If we cannot have watchdogs look into what these people are saying, look into the lies of this empire, then we don't have freedom. In order to have any other thing that we need, right now we are living in economic depression. It's going to get worse. We have a government that has given you scraps, given the American people absolutely nothing. $1,400 when they said it was $2,000. They have given you no health care during a supposed pandemic. No health care? Seriously? In any other great nation in the world, people would be protesting, people would be holding their government accountable. But Americans are brainwashed. They are fed to believe these lies. Right now, we're trying to start a war with Iran. We're trying to say that Russiagate is real. Once again, it's back. Russiagate in 2020. Putin colluded with Trump once again. They can't take accountability for anything. And who is opposing those false narratives? They're not opposing those narratives. They are the ones spreading them. The reason that Julian is so important is because he has inspired millions of people, including myself, to actually be truth tellers, to actually be real journalists, cover real stories, challenge the status quo, challenge the empire. Without people like Julian Assange, we wouldn't have this information, we wouldn't have the inspiration, we wouldn't have the means to come out here today and say, enough, this is ridiculous, this is cryptic fascism. In the last few months, we've seen the marriage of big tech, mainstream media, and the corrupt officials in our government, the war criminals in our government that get away with killing people day in and day out. The people who just bombed Syrians, the people who literally allow Israel to drop bombs on Palestinians to attack them. And then when they retaliate, they say they're a bunch of terrorists. See, there's no disconnect between these issues. Press freedoms allows us to watch and go after the empire, which allows us to point out the war crimes, which allows us to fight for issues that matter to all of us. We need to stop thinking that these issues are separate. There is no separation between our domestic and our foreign policy. There is no separation between what Assange means for press freedoms, for dissent. There is a war going on right now. There is a war against truth and dissent. And that war is one that must be fought, not necessarily with violence, but with more dissent, more speech, more... We do not combat bad speech with less speech, with censorship, with only the way to destroy bad speech and bad narratives is with more speech. That's why we need to protect these freedoms. And as somebody that's attacked by the mainstream media, that is called a Russian asset, an Assadist, a alt-right collaborator, it's absolutely ridiculous that we've come to this point. And now more than ever, when people like NBC, CNN, Fox, the New York Times, all of these people are paid to lie to you, and then they go and steal our footage. Our footage right now is being used by the government in an indictment. And guess what? They didn't give us credit. They didn't even say our names. And they are using this footage for their own narratives. And we don't get recognized as real media. We get demonetized. Our channel is demonetized. Why? Oh, gee, I wonder to their little narrative. And how do three people of a channel that we have, how do these three people cover something that their reporters couldn't cover? They have to resort to our footage and our work to validate their own narratives because their own people are doing the job. You're not little bitches. That's right, Glory, we're not little bitches. We are not snitches or bitches, and we are here today representing what real media should be. Because if these people were doing their jobs, we wouldn't have to be here. We wouldn't have to stand here, and have this discussion. But we're at a point where, like I said, we're at war, and we have to fight. We have to fight and raise awareness over this issue. There is a good amount of people here, but there needs to be thousands of people in the streets. Thousands of people. We need to stop this idea that Julian is one person. He represents every single one of us. And for all of us and him, we need to fight for his freedom. So free Assange, okay? Fuck the CIA, fuck censorship, fuck the national security state, and fuck the FBI. Thank you very much.
NBC, Fox, I know you heard that shit. Come down here with our check. Use our motherfucking footage. Get your ass down here with our check. So again, thank you to all the speakers. Thank you for everyone that's coming out today. We're going to be marching probably 10-15 minutes. We're going to get the van turned around, get lined up. We're going to head down that way to the CNN building where we're going to pick up with our fuck censorship events. Fuck CNN, fuck Fox News, fuck NBC. Right? These are the people that are creating the issues. Julian once said that we may be better without mainstream media because at that point people wouldn't know the lies. So we're going to do a couple chants real quick just so everyone can kind of get on the same page. The first one's easy. It's just free, free Julian Assange. 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 So this next one, a little bit longer, still pretty easy. There's only one decision, no extradition. There's only one decision, no extradition.
There's only one decision.
No extradition. When free speech is attacked, we fight back. When free speech is attacked, we fight back. When free speech is attacked, we fight back. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, I appreciate that a lot. You have a beautiful dog. Thank you. I recognize you. You're small. Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh my God, I love you guys. Do you mind if I pet you? No, go right ahead. Really. She's not used to some of the language. It's a little upsetting. Is she a puppy? Yeah. She's a rescue. I'm not exactly sure. I've had her for about 4.5 years. I think she's a little over 5, I think. Just because I'm still live streaming to my audience, this is the beautiful dog that I was just petting. Willie, say hi. Hi, Billy. Willie, turn. Willie, get on in. Protest doggo. Willie. It's okay. It's okay. No, if she's camera shy, I'm not gonna. Kill her. Yeah. Are you gonna be out here for the whole event, like to the CNN march? I don't think so. I live in Baltimore. I gotta get back. I got somebody in the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. They're gonna be okay. But they're finally letting people go visit people. So, well, I mean, you know the channel. If you want to talk on live stream, we have a few like blank moments it seems here. Do you want to chat about why you're out here? Okay.
So, yeah, if you want to introduce yourself however you like, and just talk to me about why you're out here.
Let me get her away. Please sit. Good girl. Kenny from Baltimore, and I just came out for free speech.
And why does this issue matter to you?
Well, because as the speakers were saying, that it's eventually it's not just one guy, it's all of us, and people need to wake up and understand that. Just because they go after one guy that everybody says is a kook, then the dominoes, they just continue to fall, and it's something that people really need to put something into.
And I mean, of course, we're outside both NBC and Fox, and actually a couple others. AP also is in this building. What would be your message to the mainstream media that we're physically standing right next to if they were listening?
I would say get real journalists to do the job, and just and let these shills go.
Fair enough. Is there anything else you'd want to add? You know, the floor is yours.
Just free Julian Assange.
All right, fair enough.
And thank you, Ford Fischer, for all the work that you do.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Really?
Safe travels back to Baltimore.
Thank you.
Shit.
So we need the biggest lawyer in America to help out because it's time to sue.
It is time to sue.
Time to sue. United lawsuit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hey, it was good to see you speaking out here. Hi, Corin. Do you want to chat to my audience more specifically about what your situation since? Because we got demonetized. To my live audience, we got demonetized simultaneously. Right? It was literally like the same minute. But I mean, I don't want to include myself in it. But do you want to chat about what's happened for you since January 6th?
So we were here on January 6th, as were you, and we just filmed. Basically, we were just filming what was going on, right? And then they took from our live stream a 30-second clip, and they started using it where the two gentlemen that are right now under an indictment by the State Department said, oh, get the bear mace. And they're investigating the Brian Sicknick death. Initially, the New York Times claimed that Brian Sicknick died as a result of being hit by a fire extinguisher.
Right.
That turned out to be false. The New York Times had to basically correct their story and kind of retract it. And now they're using that to say that this is the key moment where these people admit that they are going to use this on the police officers. They're trying to say that led to his death. So this is the most important footage right now that is being used on CNN, CNBC, ABC, Fox, and pretty much every major news outlet. The only outlet that notified us, and the reason we knew, is the Washington Post. They emailed us and said, hey, can we use your footage? We can compensate you. And we were like, what footage? Like, what? And like, we realized that we saw the indictment, we saw the whole thing, and we're like, crap, holy crap. Let's see who else is using it. Turns out they're all using it. It's one of the most important stories right now. And the fact is, we're demonetized entirely. We're not making any money off of YouTube. And we're being censored in this way because this is what we do. This is our profession. We're independent media journalists. And we do this because we want to spread the truth, and now they're using it for their own narrative, and they're not compensating us, and they're demonetizing us. YouTube and our officials work in tandem. They work together. So it's kind of like being slapped in the face, and they're giving credit to the State Department for the footage when the State Department got it from us. Right. So we're fighting against censorship now more than ever.
Right. So, I mean, this is a struggle I've written about, but how does it make you feel to sort of have the networks essentially monetizing your content, putting it on their network with ads and stuff, and then YouTube telling you you can't make money from this work?
I mean, it feels like a very unfair, obviously fascistic situation. They're in bed with the mainstream media is in bed with the YouTube and Google and big tech. I mean, this is proof of that. They tell us on one end we get strikes for any copyrighted material, right? But they can just freely use our footage and claim that, oh, it's just, Fair Use Act. So it makes us feel like they don't think of us as actual media. And we need more rights for independent media because we are the ones actually telling the truth. There's a reason they shut your entire channel off of YouTube. There's a reason you're not even giving commentary. You're just shooting what's going on. I mean, if that is a threat to the status quo, then there's something that they're doing that's wrong. They're not here to tell the truth. They're here to propagandize a certain narrative, right? And so that makes me feel that more than ever we have to fight harder for the truth, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're supporting Julian Assange, because he is a representation of all of us. He is a threat, and so are we.
Right, for sure. I appreciate you talking to me about it, and talk to me after. I can refer you to my copyright guy. I have a guy who actually has like because the same stuff is happening.
Oh, perfect.
Like
Thank you
CBS
so
stuff.
much. Yeah, we're looking for info. Yeah.
So
Feeding bastards.
let's talk
do
about
this all the
Journalism over here.
So now might be a good time for me to say, by the way, that unlike most of my content where I cover events that, I don't express an opinion in anything, I think that it's worth saying that I have written extensively about the issue of censorship in general, especially as it relates to me and especially as it relates to independent content creators. The person I just interviewed is a friend of mine who is participating in this, but who has a YouTube channel that, in my opinion, was wrongly demonetized. So I think that it's important that, I try to be objective, but to the extent that I'm going to be covering a situation where I do have a particular opinion about it, I'm going to be clear that I have advocated on this subject. So again, I will continue to try to cover the rest of this event objectively, but I think that it's worth saying out loud that I have a stated position on the subject of censorship. The other thing that I would just add is that since this is being live streamed to YouTube, which has a habit of basically saying that if there's a single false claim in it now, then they're going to take down independent content creators. As a disclaimer, News to Share does not endorse the views of anybody in the video, which is funny after what I just said. But so if there are any claims that are made previously or in going forward about either the election or COVID or any other subject like that, I do not necessarily agree with those things. And if there's any election fraud claims, you should go to cisa.gov/rumor control to look for opposing views. And if you hear any COVID claims, you should go to the World Health Organization to look at opposite views. Now I've used a countervailing view. YouTube has said that that's the standard to not take the stuff down. So if they take this live stream down, I'm going to point to this exact moment and say, you shouldn't have done that. So that's why I said that. Sorry I had to do that. Let's get back to it. And actually I have a battery to change, so you're going to just be seeing a still shot for a little bit, but they said they're going to be marching in just a few more minutes.
You're welcome. That's the most courtesy I'll extend. Fuck Chloe.
What's up?
I'm David. I work with Sam Carolina at News Dive.
Sorry?
News Dive? It is a podcast.
Oh, cool. Did you say with Corian?
Sam Carolina.
Oh, Sam.
He's just him and Sheen's Resident News Dive Radio. That's a small indie outlet. I just want to say thank you for all the work you're doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate Daniel, are you here sort of covering this or participating in it?
It's not a participation.
I need to
Sam asked me to cover it, so I'm taking pictures. We only have one shirt left.
Got it. It's interesting for me, like I just did into my live stream like a little disclaimer, because as much as I try to cover everything without stating any opinion, this is a subject I've heard, right? Like I'm obviously anti-censorship. I think basically journalists should be anti-censorship. I don't see it as like a conflict of interest. So, but it's interesting to be out here, and it's the kind of thing where I'm actually like nodding, like yep.
Instead of in the middle of
like, and it's so weird that that's right next to us. But it's especially funny to like. It's funny that an anti-censorship protest is also a protest directed at these outlets who are not actually necessarily on that side. Although I will give Fox credit. When I got demonetized last month, Fox News wrote a very sympathetic article. And they included Fiorella in that as well, who just spoke there. So like, Fox is mixed. I think Fox uses anti-censorship positions to make specific points, like when it's advantageous to them, when they feel like it's a good gotcha to big tech or something, you know. But
they want to cover certain things. Other times,
yeah, right. Tucker hobbles his way into the grave. Or on issues like this.
And then he has Greenwald on. He's like, oh yeah, I definitely agree. So Tucker's on our side for this one.
Yeah, so
Where's TYT?
We're gonna have a dinner gathering at our Airbnb tomorrow night. You're welcome to come by.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Can my girlfriend come?
For sure.
Yeah, let's send me the info or something. But I probably won't be able to. It's gonna rain tomorrow. I've heard that the weather's gonna be like shit.
I know.
I have a German doctor who was going to be following me around tomorrow, and I was going to try to like pull them to this. Like this was going to be an old trick. I was going to try to get them to come to the thing tomorrow, and then they messaged and said, "Oh, we have to switch it to Saturday because it's raining." So,
Remind me to get at you after this because Kitty wants to talk to you about an event in Michigan.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you're. I don't know if you're all still in that chat or not. If people left it, but she told me to get a hold of you.
When is it?
It's like April 3rd or something like that. It's like early April, like first week of April.
Is it Big Luau or is it something else?
I think it's something else.
Wait a second.
I'll have to ask her.
Okay.
I mean, we'll be there because it's Michigan, but
sure.
I don't know what. I think it might be the Anthony Goulon event today. Yeah, he was a guy that got killed in Lansing jail.
Oh, the guy who! Oh my God!
Where they had like five cops
like
like
George
standing
Floyd
on
in
him.
jail times 5.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, I know exactly the case you're talking about.
I think that's what.
I didn't know about that until Georgia. When I was at Georgia like a couple weeks ago, I think it was her who showed it to me.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't heard of that case. That hasn't gotten like media attention.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Like one, it's BLM protesting for a white guy, and that that makes
I've
a lot
seen
of
BLM
people.
protest for white guys before.
But
like it happens. But I
the
guess
news
the
don't
media,
want to
the
talk
media won't
about
show
that.
it.
Yeah, the news doesn't want to cover that.
Right.
Because that messes up too many narratives.
Right. We should try to get so we're in that email with Lisa Ling.
She responded yet?
They replied like, "Hey, can you give us a call or something like that?"
Cool.
Like, but I mean, maybe that would be the thing to tell them, like, "Hey, can you get to this?"
Oh yeah, that would be a good event.
That might be interesting. But so thanks for letting me know that. Let's talk about that more after. I'm still live streaming, by the way.
I don't think we're white knighting enough for Bronny to show up.
That's awesome.
Hey, y'all try to do what's in my shit talk. Hey, I'm gonna be on my Jose Marie shit if I speak.
Oh, you're live on this.
Someone take this shit away from me.
Gotcha.
That guy?
Yeah, my setup is to like it's similarly. This is live. This isn't. But like they're like almost the same.
Where's my check?
Yes.
Where's my 600? My other 600. My 1200. Where are they? Give me my money.
They went to the war machine. What are we waiting on?
I don't know. I think it's fucking lollygagging.
Are we waiting on something, Steve? Or?
No. Let's turn around. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, Andrew.
Andrew. Oh, is he getting interviewed?
Okay, that's why I'm talking about it.
I should go crash.
He has a very photogenic face, though.
I should go crash it. Crash what? His interview.
I don't
He was.
BLM.
I'm gonna go crash it.
Like she gets attacked
I don't know,
all
I'm
the
taking
time from
pictures.
both sides.
We'll get along great, man.
She's got a lot in common. It's like she has friends who are condos, she has friends that are BLMers, so it's like she gets attacked from both sides.
I empathize.
Yes, I don't think she knows what she is.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't know. I knew you'd do something like that. Oh, the chicken! Yeah!
Yeah.
Right there? Yeah! Combo couch.
Okay, that's a little better.
Sorry. Yeah! Y'all call up CNN, call up MSNBC, call up Fox.
Come outside, put a camera.
Yeah, come out with a check too. Y'all need checks to give to the combo couch. Fucking stealing our shit.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna line up behind the Free Assange van. We're gonna start heading down North Capitol till G Street, I believe, and then we're gonna be turning right to go in front of the CNN building.
Really?
So if we
Again,
can all
I'm offering this to so many
orderly or
people.
disorderly file behind the van, that would be awesome.
Message me after. I've licensed CNN twice the last month. I have their like rights and clearance person's email address. Like I could just like if it's literally a single photo use, I would say that rather than having a like a lawyer write a letter, blah, 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 I would just say like let me just connect you guys by email. literally say like, hey,
Did I not? Yep. That's kind of what I wanted to try that.
I do like 250 a photo frame is my rate with them. So I would say they infringe. They don't get to pick the price after they steal it. I would say let's connect and then have you send them an email that says like, I want $500. Give me. Or be like, give me a stimulation. I would like one stimulation, please. Yeah, and then they'll counter offer. How about 600?
And then they end up saying.
And then you'll be like 1,400 and not a cent less.
I don't know.
They actually have a police escort on this one. Oh, okay. So just to note hey, Paulina. Just to note the kind of layout of this, there's actually one cop car who's leading it. They've got the big old "Don't Extradite Assange" truck, and then everybody marching behind that.
Johnny Camera.
I'm gonna tell them we're gonna start moving.
You did not just say that. Yes, I did. Frolic, I said it. That's a great story, by the way, because I ordered lamb chops at lunch yesterday. Was that yesterday? Was that really yesterday? Or was that 2 days ago? Yeah. And they got like hella sensitive about it, so I described the place at Half Moon Bay where you could go pick your lamb or your suckling pig. It's like legit mid-frolic. Be like, okay, that one, he's got spirit, you know? Yeah.
I can throw this at you mid drinking coffee over here.
Okay.
We'll keep them warm.
Right?
Our resident fan there. I thought it was
more.
You son of a. Where's the sun?
I hope the cops are watching the stream so they can hear the banter they're waiting for right now. You have a police escort that's waiting on you talking about lamb chops.
Alright, fire, where's that man? Fire him up. Where's he at?
To the people who are watching, things are moving now. They have actually a police escort on each side, and it looks like they're going to do a one-lane shutdown.
There's only one decision.
No extradition!
There's only one decision.
No extradition!
Free.
Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange! No extradition! No extradition! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange! There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange! When free speech is attacked, we fight back! When free speech is attacked, we fight back! There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange! There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange! When free speech is attacked, we fight back! When free speech is attacked, we fight back! There's only one decision! No extradition!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
founder and publisher of WikiLeaks. He's currently facing 175 years in a United States Supermax prison for the crime of revealing United States war crimes, releasing classified information for the public good. We cannot allow this time to pass. If we lose our right to expose corruption, we are no longer a free society. There's only one decision.
No extradition!
There's only one decision.
No extradition!
Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange! There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition! Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange! Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
When free speech is attacked!
We fight back!
When free speech is attacked!
We fight back!
Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange!
I have no idea. Yes, sir! Listen up, people in DC!
I have no idea.
I mean, he shut the street down for us. I appreciate it.
Right? No, it's
It's great advertising.
everybody's getting a good look. Yeah, Don. For it. No. Defeats the whole purpose of an escort.
I think the cop doesn't realize you're trying to go. I think he's waiting for you.
Hey, Hans, we're here.
We're ready.
I have no idea.
Yeah. What is this talking? That's the block. What about this guy?
Come here, officer.
There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition! Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange!
Hey, are y'all
I
up
can't tell
ready?
you guys what to do, but yeah, my guess is that he probably would just move if you.
We're ready to go, homeboy!
Right? Where are we going, by the way? Straight. Okay.
Now we're going to turn right on G Street.
To the people who are watching right now, the Hall of the States, where they just came from, has NBC and Fox News inside of it. They're heading towards CNN, which is basically their CNN's headquarters in DC is basically on the opposite side relative to this is Union Station. So Union Station basically is like at the middle of kind of where all of those news networks are headquartered. So the beginning of their event was sort of focused on Julian Assange, who of course they are in favor of. And they talked a lot also about just free speech generally. My understanding is once they get to CNN, they're going to focus more on the free speech subject in particular as well. Also, by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I did wear green, so I feel like I got my St. Patrick's Day energy.
extradition! No extradition! Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange! When free speech is attacked, we fight back! When free speech is attacked, we fight back! What was the decision? No extradition! What was the decision? No extradition! Woo! There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition!
Julian Assange! Free! Julian Assange!
No extradition! No extradition! Free Julian Assange! I think it was more about
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
What do we want? Free Assange! When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free Assange!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free Assange!
When do we want it?
Now!
Years ago!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange! What was the decision?
No extradition!
What was the decision?
No extradition!
When free speech is attacked!
We fight back!
When free speech is attacked!
We fight back!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
There's only one decision!
No extradition!
Free!
Free Julian Assange!
Free!
Julian Assange!
When free speech is attacked!
We fight back!
When free speech is attacked!
We fight back!
What do we want?
Free Assange!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free Assange!
When do we want it?
Now!
Free!
Free
Julian Assange! Free! Free!
Julian Assange!
Just to avoid conflict, please stay on the sidewalk. Their security guards and the other shit heels didn't do anything. We're on the road. There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision! No extradition! Free! Free! Julian Assange! Free! Free! Julian Assange! What was the decision?
No extradition!
What do we want?
Free Assange!
Now!
Now! Free Assange! Now! Free Julian
democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
What do we want?
Free Assange.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Free Assange.
When do we want it?
Now.
Blue Cross Blue Shield, nobody can afford. That's my fucking corporate favorite.
Yeah, that's
Yes, I agree.
Oh, and they're right next to the Department of Ed.
I love how CNN is so cognizant of the fact that people hate them that they had to cover up their sign like a bunch of fucking punk asses, afraid that someone would write shit on it, afraid that someone would vandalize it. We see you, CNN!
Hey yo,
When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck!
censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship.
When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck!
Censorship.
Fuck!
Censorship.
We want to thank you all for coming out here today. I think these two rallies are tied together. What's happening to Julian is just a ripple effect what's happening to independent media. The fourth estate, that's why they created the media, to hold the government accountable. And right now all they're doing is censoring us, demonetizing us, taking us down. For what? For showing you guys the truth. I see my man Ford is out here today. Doesn't even do commentary. Just shows what's going on the street, and they shut his whole fucking channel down. Why?
Suspended for 1 week.
Suspended for
It's
1
back
week.
now.
All right, no, we didn't know that. Sorry.
Close enough.
We got wrong information.
Still bad.
They still censored him. They've done it more than once. They've done it to us more than once. We got our man over here, Franco. Frank Analysis. Same thing. Shut the truth talkers down. Don't let them speak. Why? So they control the narrative. So they can drop bombs. So they can manufacture consent. So we got together today to come here and tell these people, fuck censorship and fuck you too. We're never gonna shut up, because once they take our voice, then they take our guns, then we are done. I normally don't say that shit, but I'm gonna say it now because it's DEFCON 27. So thank you all for coming out here today. We're gonna have a couple people speak a couple more things. We're gonna let these people know that they will not silence us, they will not shut us up. We will always raise up our voices, and eventually we will beat back this fucking censorship. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. Because they want you to believe it's all about you. Take your neighbor. This ain't about Boogaloo Boys and Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Proud Boys, none of that shit. It's about the government doing what they do, keeping us pitted at each other's throats so they can run off with all the money, so they can have resources traction over here, over there, so they can drop bombs. And when we speak up, people like Vanessa Feely in Syria, what do? They shut them down. They shoot off. So ladies and gentlemen, don't let them take our voice. Let's push back. Let's speak back. Let's yell and scream from the top of our lungs until we get back our voice. Because without our voice, we are nothing. When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck! Censorship! Fuck! Censorship! When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck!
Censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship!
All right. Let's get some speakers over here. Steve. Mid Frolic. I think it's time for you to come on up. Another truth teller over here. Always speaking his voice. Dropping truth bombs. Let's give it up for Slow Newsday. Steve!
Fuck censorship!
subjected to big tech, to the marriage between big tech and the government. I am sick and fucking tired of the argument for when people get demonetized, the platform, get their livelihoods taken away, that, oh, it's a private company.
Yeah!
We here? We're here? Okay.
Oh, Mr. CEO, Scoop Gang!
That's CNN back there. You can't see their sign. That was CNN sign. It looks better now.
Yeah!
I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing the argument that it's a private corporation. When people get deplatformed, no, it is fucking not. There is zero daylight between tech companies and the government, between CNN and the government. CNN, by the way, employs more members of the National Security Agency than any other major media outlet. CNN is responsible for pushing more national security state narratives than any other media outlet in this country. CNN is a garbage factory of public relations for the oligarchs who then dictate their agendas to Congress. We don't have elected officials. We have the public relations firm for the oligarchy. They have messengers, errand boys, lackeys in that building. They don't have journalists. The reason they don't have journalists is because they can't produce journalism. They have to steal it.
They suck!
When CNN needs footage, they look at Mr. Fisher's channel right there. They look at the Convo Couch's channel right there, because CNN is too lazy or too scared or too stupid to walk out their door and film what's going on. CNN would rather steal. CNN is a garbage media outlet.
Wake up, Anderson Cooper, wake up!
Oh, Coop? We could talk about Coop for a minute. The Vanderbilt era? Yeah, that guy, the CIA intern, who has the amount of pancake makeup Anderson Cooper has to apply on his face in order to keep it from cracking every time he falls victim under the weight of his own bullshit and lies is getting so thick that he's going to bump into the camera any second now.
We stand up for him, LGBTQP forever. Anderson Cooper, stand up for us.
Anderson Cooper needs to see a check before he'll stand up.
Shouldn't be about money, Anderson. You have enough.
I'm gonna get the fuck out of here in a minute. But look,
That's my dog, Steve!
Thank you, Glory Jones. I would like to introduce a fellow member of the MCSC network, content creator who's been subjected to censorship, to demonetization, to a bunch of bullshit, and now to a series of ridiculous smears and attacks. I'm proud to call this man a friend. Franco, get the fuck up here. Franco! Fuck!
Censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship!
When I say CNN, you say trash! CNN!
Trash!
CNN!
Trash!
CNN!
Trash!
I was motivated by truth tellers like Costa, like Steve Poikonen, like Fiorella, like Nico House is not here.
Miss you, Nico! Love you, Nico!
I was motivated by Misty, by Glory to step up, to tell the truth. And I was monetized for what? Like just less than 2 months. Less than 2 months and I got demonetized. It's an uphill battle for anybody who wants to tell the truth online. Mainstream media is definitely not going to do it. And then the popular independent media, quote unquote independent media, they're not really independent. Some of them are corporate news like TYT.
Oh, fuck
The Hill's the Rising. Well, they don't really call themselves independent, but you get it. A lot of progressives like to watch them. They're not going to tell you the truth, the full truth. We're going to do deep dives, though, in the MCSE network. We're not afraid. We're fearless. And that's why YouTube targeted us first. They targeted Frank Analysis. They targeted the Convo Couch. They targeted Ford Fischer, which he just does on-the-ground footage. He doesn't do commentary. But what's going on the ground exposes truth. And they don't want, the mainstream media doesn't want you to see that. They want people divided. They want people to be arguing about cultural stuff that's going on. They keep people ignorant about foreign policy. Shout out to the Gray Zone. Shout out to Richard Medhurst, Robert Inglis, everybody who's talking about what's happening in other countries and what the U.S. is doing. Shout out to the Last American Vagabond. All these truth tellers that YouTube targets first. Not only YouTube, but now Patreon is doing that. Like, we have to rely on people giving us money, and now Patreon is starting to target us. They're targeting Whitney Webb. They're targeting James Corbett.
We love you, Whitney!
Of course, we have to talk about Julian Assange. If we don't stand up for Julian Assange, then what do we do? We're not standing up for ourselves. So once again, fuck
Censorship!
Fuck
Censorship!
CNN is
trash!
Thank you guys so much for coming out. I love you all.
People are asking us why we're out here today. And I tell them, because our lives begin to end the day that we stop speaking about things that matter. That was Martin Luther King. I don't think I said it right, but close to it. That's what he said. And we got independent journalists from all around the country, including our friends from Seattle. Let's give it up for our friends from Armenia. The accidental activist is not here by accident. Give it up. When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck.
Censorship.
Fuck.
Censorship.
Okay, so. Keep the mic. Thanks for the welcome, you guys. I'm so honored to be here with every single one of you. And every one of you is doing the work being here. And so I thank you. You know, normally I just go off the cusp, especially with our live show. Did it die?
Yeah, hold on.
Rubbed it in.
Try again.
He just probably can't figure it out.
I just can't figure it out. I'm a boomer.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
This one's still works. Hit the button.
Mic check. You know, I sleep with my earbuds in, listening to all of you guys every night. Just, you know, I fall asleep to every one of you and the information that you're putting out there. And I woke up with Chris Hedges in my earbuds first thing about 5 o'clock this morning. And he said some very pertinent things that I just want to remind us of, because I know every one of us here knows it. Why do they censor us? Why do they shut our channels down? Why do they demonetize us? Because they fear us. They're terrified of us. Because they know it only takes 3% of this population to wake up and they're done. We come together, we truly enact our power over them. And that's what we're doing here today. They fear us because we have the righteous truth on our side. We have to non-violently overthrow the corporate state, including mainstream media. Non-violent. If that means dragging your asses out to the streets, that's what you do. If that means getting across the country, that's what you do. Our future depends on it. So, peacefully saying, fuck you, fuck CNN, fuck censorship. Only in our act of rebellion can we truly fight for our kids, for the fight for their future. If we lose this fight, we know we will be the end, not just for us, but for all of humanity. Thank you for coming, everyone here today. Thank you so much.
Give it up for the accidental activist. When I say fuck, you you say censorship. Fuck! Censorship! Fuck! Censorship! When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck! Censorship! Fuck! Censorship! Let's give it up for Misty. Misty, you need to speak on this. You know her words. Putin's ex-girlfriend is here to come say a couple words. Give it up for Misty!
You got this one right, Misty! So you guys know I hate public speaking.
Get in there, Mindy!
Shut the fuck up. So this is my right woman, Corey Jones. She's helping me out because I hate this shit. Pasta asked me to speak and I was like, I suck at that, but yeah, fuck censorship. So here I am. See, this is why I hate this shit. Sorry. I'm also really tired. So yeah, Pasta asked me to come and speak, and I hate this shit, but I knew I had to do it because, you know, this is... I'm not, but it's important. So here I am, rambling, and making a fool of myself as usual, but this shit is too important. And that's why I'm so glad that Convo Couch decided to organize their own event with us in coordination, because these two things are very much intertwined. And it starts with Julian Assange. If we do not get Julian Assange, you know, freed, it's really bad news for all of us. This impacts literally every other thing that we fucking face. If you want to fight for healthcare, if you want to fight for green energy, if you want to fight for education, it doesn't fucking matter. You cannot do that unless you have the ability to disseminate factual information and have conversations with people so that you can change minds. And that's what makes this so important. And we cannot stop. Like, this is a great turnout. We have to keep bringing people in. We have to keep inspiring people and making people understand how important this is, because this really is go time. This is a kind of one of those turning points in history where if we don't get this right, we're going down a very bad path. So thank you guys seriously for coming out here. I know it's tough for everybody right now with all the bullshit going on. So thanks for coming. Thanks to every single independent media person who's here covering this. You guys are the real heroes. You know, it's sad when we can't get independent media to cover or boost our events. What the fuck is that about, y'all? These are people who are getting censored and they can't be bothered to speak out against censorship. So yeah, fuck them too. But yeah, I just want to say, fuck CNN, fuck Fox News, fuck MSNBC, fuck the Washington Post, fuck the New York Times, all of them. They are propagandists, mouthpieces for power, and we have to be even louder. They have all the money, we have all the noise, so we have to get louder. So thanks for being here, everybody. You guys fucking rock. And one more time, fuck censorship!
Give it up for Misty! So the First Amendment doesn't protect speech we like. It protects speech we don't like. And I'm not going to allow these people over here, the mainstream media, to pit each other against each other, one of us against each other. It's us versus them. This isn't about left versus right. This is a verse top versus bottom. And it's up to us to get our voices out there and be heard. And I want to introduce somebody real quick. Old school from the streets over here. Let's give it up. Another representative of Roar Media. Medicare for All Advocate, Ember.
Hello everyone, how are we doing here? So I have a question for you. Are there any indigenous people in front of you right now? Would anybody like to come to the land acknowledgement? If you don't want to, that's okay. I'm not going to do it, but if somebody's out here, I would like the opportunity to do that before I speak. So I think that's very important. So, final chance. Coming up. Alright. I'm probably going to butcher these names. I will do my best. I would like to first acknowledge that we are on stolen land. The land of the Anacostas, the Saskaway, Kentucky, and the Tachagua. I wish to express my deepest respect and gratitude for these original current caretakers and healers of the region in support of your tribal land and sovereignty and inclusion. We pledge our relationship will consist of mutual trust, respect, solidarity, and reciprocity. We acknowledge that the disposition of indigenous lands was often taken by coercive and violent acts, the disregard of treaties, and for that we extend our deepest gratitude to the native peoples of this region and beyond.
Please bring our missing indigenous women and children home. Please do your job, CNN, and fucking report on it. Way past time. And to all the people who are out there fighting against pipelines, against fighting the nuclear fucking bullshit that is happening right next door, the Federal Emergency Energy Commission. They are full of shit. And if you haven't seen Vault 7 and read what's happening in our nuclear fucking atrocities around the world, have got to stop. It's far beyond time. So, I only come to DC when it's time to protest, and that means people aren't doing their fucking jobs, and I'm sick of it. I had to leave my family and my children and travel 2,000 miles to come here and tell people that you need to do your job. You were not given the privilege to speak on our televisions as fucking censoring everything. You have been bought out. You are next door to Premier Blue Cross. You don't fucking care first. I'm wearing this red beret because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you don't fucking care first because you've been bought out. You've been bought out by their fucking ad money. They probably have an underground goddamn tunnel to just funnel it over for the next ad, for the next medication that they all want you on, so that we don't have the balls to get up here and say what's right. And it's beyond time for that. And so when we want to speak the truth and say fuck censorship, we mean it. When we say free Julian Assange, we fucking mean it, because that's what it means for our children. That's what it means for the future of this country that is supposedly free. And we are not free. We are a failed nation. And your corporate bullshit is what's gotten us here. We have been doing this for too long, and the game is up. The Band-Aid is being pulled off. We're not paying for it anymore, and we're not going to sit here and idly watch. We're done. So it's time to support independent media, and it's time to do some real investigative journalism, and not throw the people who do in fucking prison. What do we want? Why do we want it? Now! You know, I walked around, I was a little bit of a tourist yesterday. I don't ever get to do that. And I walked around, and I saw... Thanks, Bob. That's right. Censorship, live time, it happens. You know, I got a quote I wanted to read. It's called, "I was born to hustle tip roses down the avenues of the dead." Anybody know who that is? Bukowski. And I walked around those dead fucking memorials and dead people's names and the things that they fought for. We are the only people out here fighting for it right now. What the fuck is that? Seriously, did your parents not teach you that you could do anything that you wanted when the reality was to be put in a fucking corporate digital jail? Because every one of your children is being monetized. Every opportunity for their future is being tracked from infancy. There are babies on the goddamn blockchain. And if we're going to fight for Medicare for all, or any other issue, or a living wage, or canceling student debt, you better be ready to fucking fight for it and not accept what these two behind me here are conspiring for. Because that is not freedom. And we are not going to sit idly by and consent. It's over. We're done. You know, FDR said courage is not the absence of fear, but the assessment that something else is more important than fear. The liberty of a democracy is not safe if private power to a point where it becomes stronger than the democratic state itself. This is fascism, and it is happening all across this country and everywhere we fucking stand. In the millions of bases around the world where America thinks we know better. No, we're just there to take their fucking money, their resources, and screw them over. So that 1% of the population can take all they can. And we're done. So, thank you for being here, you guys. Please
people we despise. And we don't believe in freedom of speech at all. And this next person coming up, we got so much shit for putting him on our show, talking to people who think differently than us. And we're going to continue to do that. I'll bring up a person I consider a friend right now, a good man, Magnus!
And for so long, I thought the fight behind all of it was dead. I never knew any of the people here. I never met any of them. And that kind of goes to show the level of censorship that these corporations will put on, that they'll hide each other from us. That we won't ever be able to meet. They'll depress our posts. They'll hide our videos, so we don't organize, so we don't get in the streets. So people like me never meet any of you. And that's insane that people don't realize how deep this goes, how even a random post you put on your Twitter will be buried just so you don't meet someone who agrees with you, just so you don't realize how much in common you have with each other. They bury all of that. And CNN and all of these places, they've lied to almost everyone. I've gone to so many events over the last couple of weeks and been with people that I was told that would hate me, that would kill me, that would never speak to me, that they were evil, that they were bad, that I should never trust them. And I went and saw for myself. And that's more than anything what I want for people is stop listening to these people, stop watching them, stop trusting them, stop learning from social media, and go out and talk face to face. Go meet people in person, human to human, and talk, and I guarantee you'll have more in common. And that's what they fear more than anything. That's why they censor us. They don't want this to happen. They don't want marches in the streets. They want people on Twitter screaming at each other. They want people watching Fox or CNN and thinking everyone hates them. They don't want the love that I see here, the love that I've received from these people. And this is what it's all about. And I hope I see it grow. I hope I see next year, next event, twice as many people, 3 times as many people. I think the country's waking up to what's going on. I think what's happening to Assange, what's happening to several people all across the world, is kind of starting to click with people. And I hope to see that more. Thank you.
Love you, brother. The only valid censorship is the right just to not listen. That's it. It's not up for the government or these pricks in the mainstream media that owe us a check to tell us what is right or wrong. That's up for you to decide. And I want to bring up another guy, one of the starters, co-founders of Action for Assange.
Everybody for turning out. This is absolutely incredible. Big shout out to Pasta, Fee, Johnny, Steve, Glory, Misty, Nico, and all the rest of the MCSC crew. Franco, sorry. These people are the real motherfuckers. These are the people that are willing to put their bodies, their names, and their lives on the line to get information out. These are people that have had their windows smashed open, that have breathed the tear gas of protesters while they have a press badge on. They've been kettled, they've been hurted, they've been beat. And they are here today because it is not over. There will not be a moment when the fight ends. There will be lulls, but we need to keep growing. This fight against censorship isn't about the left. It's not about the right. It's about our right to know what the hell is happening. Right now we have media organizations, Twitter, Facebook, CNN, Fox, all working in conjunction with intelligence communities to suppress accurate information. We cannot allow this to happen, and I am so fucking overjoyed that everyone turned out for this. Because this is just the beginning. We're not gonna stop. Last time we were outside of CNN with about 7 or 8 people. This time there's almost 50 of us. Next time, maybe we'll be over 100. This is what we need to do, and this is how we grow. So I just want to say to everyone that helped put this together, the people that constantly get smear articles and videos ran about them, don't stop. Because when you take the most flack, it means you are over the target. So you are doing exactly what they don't want you to do, which is exactly what we need to do right now. So again, thank you, everyone.
You should kiss my cheek. 66%.
66%. They don't hear you. Can't hear you. I'm sorry,
Just yell it.
what's that?
Just scream it.
Here. Here. Where's the other minute?
What did you do, Andrew? Did you break it?
Where's the other
It's just too good.
Where's our other microphone? We put it down here.
It's in the cart over there.
Can I have that real quick?
Oh, okay, we're back.
Got it?
Yeah.
We're back.
That thing is just fucked up. It's old. It's like 2 years old.
When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck!
Censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship!
When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck!
Censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship!
Really quickly, I want to bring up somebody I love dearly. One of the partners of the Convo Couch. One of... Yeah.
Fuck you, Kevin! Yeah. We need a good one for this intro, though.
Motherfucker. It is, it's on. Here we go. Okay, so I want to bring up a third partner in this guy. He's my brother. And he wants to just... Give me my megaphone! Here's my shit. Okay, here we go. 3 times the charm. When I say fuck, you say censorship. Fuck!
Censorship!
Fuck!
Censorship!
So I want to bring up one of the partners of the Convo Couch. It's going to be one of his first time talking, but we love him dearly. He's the straw that stirs the drink of the Convo Couch. He does so much. I love him. My brother. Johnny Tsunami! Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Shout out to Glory Jones for being... It's been a couple months, so you think they would have taken it down already. So, CNN, you know, they're basically propaganda, right? They have CIA employed there, former CIA officials, all these people there employed. So, as part of the fuck censorship, you know, the main culprit of the censoring is Google, YouTube, Alphabet, right? And we're gonna get there eventually. CNN, they're a publisher, right? So they can edit whatever, they can censor whatever, they can do whatever. Their articles, their stenographers, writing. But Google, you know, they're a platform, and they're acting as a publisher. And I just want to make that stark difference here today, that CNN, you know, their propaganda, and that YouTube, when they censor us, they push outlets like CNN, mainstream media, MSNBC, Fox News, C-SPAN, you know? So this is one of the propagandas that they push in front of independent media, like the Convo Couch, like Slow News Day, like Action for Assange, like Frank Analysis, like MCS Network, like Eco House, and everybody else. So I just want to thank you all so much. Fuck CNN. Fuck wars. I just want to put, you know, we're all pretty much anti-war here, so this is pretty interesting. And we're against censorship, and free Julian Assange, man. Thank you, everybody. Give it up for Johnny Tsunami. I love it when the young people come out. Another young person over here could be at home playing Xbox, and instead, down here, speaking against the oligarchs. Let's give it up. Glory, motherfucking Jones!
So I don't know if you guys know this, but Posse Civil Liberties guy. So hey bro, CNN, you're a trash ass fucking network, dog. And so is Fox, we were just back there too. So is NBC. So is all of corporate media, really. And listen, it's not like you need to read the government's own documents in Operation Mockingbird to find out that they're a complete asset of the security state. You just need to see what cowards there are in their coverage. They can't even say Julian Assange's name. They won't cover Chelsea Manning. They won't cover David McBride's case. They won't draw attention to Anonymous, but the Anons will make that help of themselves. I'll tell you that. Expect us. I mean, listen, it's just every day. It's shocking the cowardice of these people, of these tools of the security state. You come to expect it, but it still shocks me. Shocks me that we have to deal with all this bullshit just for telling the truth. Ford Fischer, where you at? Ford really talks on his streams. He just films shit. And look what he's going through. Franco, breaking out of his shell, getting demonetized instantly. Convo Cow, fucking saving my ass at protests. Literally putting their lives on the line. And they get their little Bernie van just lit up.
Our Bernie van!
Yeah! Seattle people Bernie van. Misty, dealing with all kinds of fucking harassment from these goddamn gatekeepers every day. There's another person here. Yeah, no. My boy Steve! Look at all the shit that he has to go through when they fucking with his flights here and there. We can't even mention Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset, COVID-19. We can't say any of that shit without getting called fucking QAnon. That shit's a psyop. And yet we get those context warnings on our videos. But it's because they want to push us into a corner, push us to the fringes, so you can manufacture consent for our eventual censorship. Because fuck these pricks over at Google, over at Alphabet, up in Congress, up in fucking Silicon Valley seat in California, the OG certified punk-ass Rokana himself, carrying water for these people, being nothing but PR agents for the empire. And I'm supposed to be fucking happy because we beat fascism. I don't know. Yeah, listen, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just breathing fresher air with the knowledge that we stopped fascism. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Yeah. It's so insane to think that this is where we are in our stages of propaganda. In our stage of the Mickey Mac complex expansion, because it used to be just the MIC, now it's the damn Mickey Mac. Now it's the whole ass fucking national security state working as all-in-one to oppress us all. And people can't wake up and see that shit, because you got fucking narrative managers like CNN, like MSNBC, like Fox, like The Hill, like the people in the allegedly independent media like fucking TYT and Sam Cedar and all these punk asses carrying water for them. What the fuck are you hoping to accomplish with your gatekeeping? Oh, okay, I see. Who's writing his checks? Katzenberg? Y'all some punk asses, and I can't believe it's gotten to this point where people can't even speak up about this shit. Because I'm tired, and I'm only 20. I haven't even been in this game for that long, and I'm fucking tired. Imagine how the dude standing next to me feels. It's insane that this is what we have to go through. And that's why we have to band together. We have to make a post-partisan push. We really have to, or else we won't get the numbers we need. But listen, I got the blessings, and we got the blessings of the one and only Reverend Andy Chambers. So, because of that, I'll try and end this on a positive note, because ain't nobody doing it like us. Really. Like CNN? I bet you none of CNN's viewers are smarter than Anthony Reyes, than Mona Carmona, and propaganda, and all the people in our chat. I love y'all so much. Hey, guess what? CNN, Fox, Google, how many of y'all bitch asses got one of the best fucking programmers in the nation? It's Sleepy Josh. Y'all ain't got that shit. Iran, like Cuba, who to this day is suffering from sanctions and still sending out doctors to the rest of the world. We got Cuba. Hasta siempre, my brothers in Cuba, my brothers and sisters in Cuba. I love y'all. Sending international solidarity because that's how it starts. And this day of action is just an amazing thing. It really is. You can't find this shit anywhere else, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. I really am. Love you! And fuck
Yo, I know we mentioned a lot of names out here, people we know and stuff like that, but it often makes me think about the time when we got started in this whole thing. And I see a couple people we don't realize, we don't recognize you, my man. Thank you so much for being here. Corinne Forever, IRL out here. Who's that? Oh, real journalist. Real journalist over there. Please have a good time there, Rick. But that's what it's all about. Who else? I saw my man with the Atlanta Braves hat. What's the name of your outfit? News Time. And I want to thank you guys for coming out here. Sam! I want to thank you guys for coming out here because I remember when we first started getting out there, nobody knew our name. What's that, my man, Pete?
Can I say something?
I'll get you a piece hooking. You got it right now. I'm going to hook you up. I got you. I know, dog. I ain't going to let you go without speaking. What's her? It's only the fourth time I've asked her name, right? Stuff like that. That name I block out of my head. I don't know what it is. No, I did not.
We love Craig!
Thank you. Cover up there. It goes IRL for us over there covering up and stuff like that. But that's what it's all about. I remember when we first got started. Citizen journalists. That's it. You grab a camera, you grab a microphone, you get out there and you document what happens. Because what this shit is behind us, that ain't news. That's fucking propaganda. Fucking propaganda to manufacture consent for war, for control. That's what it's about. So thank you to the smaller outlets that are joining us today. First time recognizing you. Hope we see you for the next rally. Come on out. And I also want to give the microphone right now. I got two people, then we're going to finish up with the third. Jordan's going to come over here and say a word. Give us some words. Give us a round of applause for Jordan.
Oh, of course we got you.
Give it up for Jordan. Make it louder.
Hello, everyone.
Hit the button. This is the other side.
Hello. Yeah. Hey guys. How you doing? All right. So I wasn't sure whether to come up here or not. But everyone just kept talking about war. I have this song that I wrote about a year ago, back when everything was popping off with Iran, and I've been an educator for a while, and I tend to teach in a way that helps students self-motivate, figure out like why. I want them to figure out what they need to do for themselves, because I believe everyone has like a special, unique quality, and everyone also just wants their freedom. I tell them, yeah, do these 12 years here. I'm working with you so that when you get out, you can do whatever you want. Like, I'm just here to teach you math, okay? Learn how to help you do your money and to help you learn how to communicate your thoughts and your feelings. And I started crying one day and writing this because I was just like, what if the way that this country operates itself, we are just completely fodder. And we don't teach the kids to learn like what is actually necessary. I've actually talked to multiple people today being like, how would we know about these foreign and domestic issues, or how to like get through this pandemic without just being completely left on the streets, when all I know is that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Turns out that's not even true. All I know is that and about George Washington, and apparently he's not even the first president of the United States. I'm learning that. I have a Google valuable, bold degree in public policy. Most of the stuff I learned on my own. Because most of those teachers are just teaching me how to accept that nothing can ever change. That was my degree. And ironically, I learned education policy. So being right here in the U.S. Department of Education, I thought, oh, that was good. But no, I don't want to be any part of that. That's why I went into teaching, so I can know who I'm affecting and not just making decisions that just mess up everyone else's lives. So I say that, feel free to sing along. It's to the tune of, you'll hear it. You might recognize it. I don't know why I can't think of it. I repurposed the gospel song. I repurposed it. But it's called What Do We Teach? The lyrics are, what do we teach so they can face tomorrow? What do we teach so war is gone? Because I know they're asking me every day, is my life worth the living just to die in vain? And that last question, that's what I see in their eyes when I'm teaching them. They're like, why are you teaching me? What does this even matter? And I want to give them a real answer that doesn't get me fired. But we live, I want to tell them that we live because it is a beautiful experience to be a human being, to learn knowledge and to share that with others. And so I'm so glad to be here with everyone. I've looked up to so many of you in the Combo Couch, Slow News Day, anyone in part of the MCSC network, like really, truly. And with Action for a Song, it's great to meet you all today. So just don't get with it, sing it a couple of times. That's it.
Let's give it up!
What do we teach so they can face tomorrow? What do we teach so war is gone? Because I know they're asking me every day, is my life worth the living just to die in vain? So you want to sing along? Hallelujah. What do we teach so they can face tomorrow? What do we teach so war is gone? Because I know they're asking me every day, is my life worth the living just to die in vain? I'll say it one more time. Is my life worth the living just to die in vain?
There you go.
Let's give it up for Jordan one more time. We also got a song we're going to play later too from some activists back in California that wrote a fuck censorship song. So we're going to play that to the end. But I remember the last time I came out to DC, we were here for the Action for Assange vigil, and in front of the Department of Justice, a gentleman finished up, came over here. He was just shaking. He was about to cry. He was just speaking his words. And he came out today to support us again, so we're going to give him the microphone. We're going to give him a chance to speak. Come on out here, please, hooking for Julian.
It's hard to not get choked up when I think of Julian. I really It's hard for me not to get choked up when I think of Julian. I mean, this whole movement, I cry all the time. I'm sorry. I just feel for that man. I really do. So, my job today, I thought I got two goals. One is to make him laugh and smile. If I made that man smile one time in my life, I did all I need to do. And so, I brought out these balloons and write "fuck you" or something on them. I got a bunch of balloons, and we're gonna take. I got badminton rackets. I'm gonna hit them. So I got I'll hand these out. I got 5 of them, whatever. Let's write stuff on the balloons. I got about 20 balloons. We'll get the place lit up a little bit with balloons and have fun. And two things. So I'm starting a badminton league, and you guys are the finest people I've found. I swear. I'm going all over the internet. I'm on the internet all the time. I've been Alex Jones for 20 years. But you guys are great. This is such a great movement. It really is. And so you're a team, and you're a badminton team. I'll put it online at Peace Hook, and you can play with other people and say, hey, come play and learn about Julian Assange and take them out and play. And you'll be playing against other teams. Like I'm starting a team. Her name is Ashley Babbitt, the girl that was shot at the Capitol. That's a team. McAfee's a team. Alex Jones is a team. We're going to start playing teams against each other. We got to make some noise. Maybe this will make a little noise. But today, let's try to make, if Julian Assange, I'm sure he might see somebody's video, and he'll look out and he'll smile. I'm sure if he sees us doing this, it might put a smile on his face. And that might make him live one more day, because we got to have him hang on. He's been in there too long. He's got to hang on. He's got to come out. We got to see that smile on his face. And then get to his children, his wife, and his mother, and his father, and he's got to be free. So we got to do all we can to get this man free. Okay, that's all I got to say.
Blow up some balloons, and when we're done, we'll finish up.
I'm not blowing up on balloons.
Just go again. We'll catch you over there after.
Yeah, I know. I got it. Thank you.
So we're going to finish up our last speaker today. I just want to say thank you all for coming out here. Like I said, this is just a rock going in the water, and the ripple is going to continue to go and get bigger and get bigger and get bigger. Believe you me, y'all are just ahead of the game, and I can't thank you enough. I love you all for coming out here. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to finish up one of the last quotes that I love to hear. It was by Jackie Robinson, one of my heroes. He said, "A life is insignificant unless it has special impact on others." And y'all are just making an impact. Every day, you get online, you share this stuff, and you talk your truth, prevent you. And I want to bring up my partner, who's inspired me so much. When we started this whole thing, we didn't know what the hell was going on. We just wanted to get out there with a microphone and a camera and speak our truth. We wanted to elevate the little person. You know, the candidates that didn't get enough voice and time, or the activists in the streets, and what this has turned into, and by all your support. I can't thank you enough for my new life right now, because I was hustling around a fucking restaurant, making sure everybody got Diet Coke, whatever it is. And now I get to, when I leave this planet, know that I've made an impact. You guys have told us that every day. And I just want to bring up my partner who's inspired me so much. I love you too. I'm making vegan meatballs later. Guys, give it up. Fiorella. She's coming up.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, alright. Guys, once again, thank you all for being here. I know you flew, drove, took a train, whatever it is. Everybody has said amazing things today. Jordan, that song was phenomenal. Once again, give her a round of applause, everybody. That was really touching. Look, I gotta say that conspiracy theorist is a word invented by the CIA, okay? We have been called that. We have been called numerous things. A lot of you here have been called that for simply reporting the truth. Malcolm X warned us a long time ago. He warned us that if we weren't careful, the newspapers would have us hating the truth tellers and supporting the oppressors, right? He basically indicated what would happen. Julian Assange predicted what would happen. And the reality is, we stand here today because our government has failed us. The government isn't by and for the people. And who knows if it ever was. We can talk about the beginning of this country and have many regrets. But we are here today because we, as independent media, are the real media. We are challenging the status quo. We are challenging the national security state. We are challenging every single entity that has been led to trick you, to lead you to a road of complete and total lies. These paid propagandists, these paid stenographers are making money off of lying to the American people. And the vast majority of Americans don't see anything wrong with that, or if they do, they are too encompassed and too far surrounded by capitalism and by this whole system that keeps them enabled, working day in and day out. They can't even look up, they can't even see what's happening because they're too busy working 5 jobs, or in this case right now, they're jobless. They don't have health care, they don't have a living wage. The people, the progressives that we elected to represent us are here supporting fascism. People like AOC, people like Bernie Sanders who are supposed to fight for us are not doing their jobs. And when they don't do their jobs, we have to call them out. And if they shut us down, we can't call them out. We can't talk about the war. We can't talk about bombing Syrians or letting Saudi Arabia destroy Yemeni people. We can't talk about the crimes that we commit, that are committed in our name, Children, families getting killed all over. U.S. imperialism is the reason we have a mass immigration problem. We destroy people's lands. We destroy it through sanctions. We destroy it through causing civil unrest in Central America. I have spoken to these people. They named Hillary Clinton. People from Honduras named Hillary Clinton as a reason that the country is destroyed. We wouldn't get that information if we were in Tijuana reporting it. We wouldn't get to talk about Julian Assange. We wouldn't get to talk about the national security state, the deep state, if we didn't have independent media, because these motherfuckers aren't talking about it. They're in fact trying to shut us down because we threaten their livelihood. We can take their jobs because we do them better. They have to steal our footage because they don't have the balls, the cojones, the ovaries to go out there. We put ourselves in jeopardy. We have been tear gassed. We have been arrested for simply covering things that they don't want you to see. I want to say there is a connection between the police state domestically and the national security state that empowers and arms them. There is a connection. When something is wrong, when somebody violates your freedoms, here, imagine what we do to our foreign enemies, nations that refuse to be under the boot of our empire, nations like Cuba, Venezuela. When we try to overthrow regimes all over the world, they don't want you to know this. They want you to think that everything is awesome. Joe Biden comes in, woo, COVID's gone, everything's different. Now Joe Biden comes in, and guess what? Cryptic fascism has slid in. The moment Joe Biden came in, Twitter started censoring people, taking people down. YouTube started. You cannot question COVID. You cannot question anything that is a little bit controversial, because otherwise you are a conspiracy theorist, you are a Russian asset. McCarthyism is back, okay? It is the same type of destructive, bullshit, blasphemous information that happened years and years ago. And we're living it again today. I had the pleasure of talking to Reverend Annie Chambers. A living Black Panther. She told us, Pasta and I, that we should never stop talking to people we disagree with. Right? Pasta, I don't know if you guys know this, is a civil liberties guy. I consider myself pretty far left, okay? That doesn't mean I don't talk to people that think differently. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna sit here and generalize that every single Trump supporter is a bad person, that every single Biden supporter is a bad person, okay? People are just misinformed because they don't have access to this information. Imagine if we were to play our shows, every single one of the independent media that's here, if we were able to play the information with the same access that these fuckers have, how different would the world be? How unbrainwashed would everybody be? Imagine that world. We have a possibility of having that
But right now, all of that is in peril. Every single thing we want, a living wage, healthcare, an ability to completely oppose the war crimes committed in our name. All of that is under peril if we don't have free speech, if we don't have the ability to have dissent. What's the point of living, as Jordan said, if we're not going to fight for something we believe in? For our purpose. I think my purpose in this world is to educate, is to make people aware of the truth. And those people that are doing that are the real threat. And we have to unite and stand together, because this battle, this war we're in, this fight, is not a left-right paradigm, but a top-down paradigm. We are the many, they are the few. I know you guys have heard this before, but really, we are walking the walk today, every single one of you. Because it's one thing to say it on Twitter, it's one thing for people like the squad to go and tweet at Republicans and talk about healthcare and this and that, but when they're actually not fighting for it in the streets, when they're not putting their bodies on the line, that doesn't matter. It's time for us to put our bodies on the line. It's time for us to take to the streets. Electoral politics isn't solving this.
That's right.
We're not going to vote our way out of this. Look around you. There's that marriage that many of you have talked about between big tech, our government, the corporate interests, the military-industrial complex. There's a lot of us, and they know that. They know that people are waking up. And right now, we are the largest threat, because as one of our great journalists and commentators here said, it only takes a few of us to wake up for it to be over, okay? So, thank you all for being here. Free Julian Assange, fuck censorship, and we're gonna march to fucking Google. Because Google and Susan Wojcicki, who is the CEO of YouTube, right? They have demonetized us, they have demonetized Frank Analysis, they have demonetized Ford Fischer, MCSC Network folks. They continuously block our videos because they don't want the information we talk about to be seen or heard by the public. So, we're gonna march, and we're gonna tell them fuck censorship. We're gonna tell them free Julian Assange. We're gonna tell them that we're here to stay, that this is only the beginning of what's to come, because there will be more of us next time, and then more of us next time, and then more of us next time. Politicians won't solve our problems. We have to solve our problems together. There is no separation. We are all the working class, and together we are going to fight for justice. Thank you very much.
We're essential workers.
All right. Thank you, Hayes. And we're going to get ready to march soon. We're going to take a couple minutes over here. We're going to play the Fuck Censorship song. I want to thank Mike Unge, Lighter, and Steph Soder, who played the song, recorded the whole 9 yards. I also want to send a special shout out. I want to send a special shout out to somebody else. I can't remember now. Oh yeah, Oz. Well, he's over there. He's watching this stuff because he sent me a quote today. Because everybody said, "Be careful if you quote Voltaire," because they say that oligarchic elitists kind of always go after people for saying the one saying which says, "I do not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it." But he also had a great quote. My fingers here. He also had a great quote which said, "Cherish those who seek the truth, but beware of those who find it." Thank you all for coming out today. Fuck censorship. Tell these motherfuckers to do their job. They owe us a check. Let's go. Let me hear you say, "Fuck censorship." Fuck censorship. Say, "Fuck censorship." Fuck censorship. Free Julian Assange. Thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're beautiful people. I love you all.
We love you too, Grandma.
White man grandma. Civil liberties grandma.
You know what was it? Nah, it's just fuck NPR. I mean, NPR is for propaganda. I'll let the cops.
Okay. You want to go?
And then we're going to turn left again onto North Capitol. Double left. And then we'll go to Michigan.
I don't suppose you have another clamp that attaches
SPR
your
shield for Bloomberg during the
This like
primary.
snaps, so I'm like leaning in. Like, I don't have another speech, do you? Okay. No, that's okay. I usually carry an extra one, and I don't. I like looked in my backpack, and I'm like, damn it. No, it's okay. I mean, these things cost nothing. It's just like literally like it's gonna be like hard, like here. Yeah, there's a lot I could say about all of this, but
I know.
not my. That is not my job. But yeah, I could.
But I also like I don't.
Aren't they doing this again tomorrow? I thought that they were finished for today, and then he's like, we're going somewhere else, like now.
Yeah, I think it's just
I didn't know that Google has a DC headquarters. Oh yeah,
the
that's
various
true.
ways that censorship presents itself is.
I feel like my honest suggestion would be tell them today I want to speak to them about, because I feel like today they've kind of like done like duplicate speakers like a few times. Like I feel like this has been like running fairly long, maybe because they didn't have as many speakers, but they've already made that decision. But my guess is that tomorrow like they'll, you know, make
Sorry, I was just like.
the magic of St. Patrick's Day. Maybe there's just like a little golden nugget. But I'm not going to pick up floor candy to find out. Streak on the
Oh, thanks. He's been carrying his coffee and I keep forgetting.
Oh,
He, like,
this is yours?
coffee.
That's very nice of you.
I know. I walked up next to him and I was like, oh god, you're holding that still.
Right, yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, that's a good idea.
This wasn't iced coffee when I bought it.
I know. He was like, it's still warm. I'm used to drinking coffee. Make my coffee, set it down 2 hours later. Oh yeah.
This is actually like a common phenomenon for me. When I'm at home, like for like all day, like editing day, or, you know, whatever it is. Like when I make like a whole pot in the morning. Like I can't act like I know that I want that much, but it's like it's very slow. It takes a long time for me to actually get through it, and I end up. Oh, he's just. Oh. Yeah, I feel like his like let's throw things thing was a little dead on arrival. All right. I'm still alive.
I know. I always do that.
But like time, yeah.
And I'm not like, I should do this more, but I've never gotten
No, I'm not.
time, I'm like, oh good, I don't have like.
It's weird to be someone who spends all my time filming the public, and I actually am extremely introverted. Even among like, I feel like all of these people know me. I've been shouted out 4 times total in the speeches, and still I'm like, I'm nervous.
I know. Absolutely.
No, I agree. I just have to fight this. It's not that I'm nervous. It's just that I like, yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly like quiet personality, and then I have like with like virus and happens because of quiet, like I don't have that experience.
Right, like, am I gonna break this? So.
Yeah.
So we're kind of behind Union Station right now. You said that it's back at Moscow. Is where this
So I thought
thing is.
the map that they had posted online looked like the march route came up here and then went straight back to the same direction.
Okay. And originally it was 4 targets here, Fox, that, and NPR in the middle.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's what I would have assumed. That it would, but I don't. Yeah.
things that we got here.
Yeah. No, I agree. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like 2 streams or should I like just have,
Exactly.
I just like pet it on.
I had like a title description ready
For the second one. Oh, yeah. I think I did write, I think the caption is on mine is like Julian Assange / I think I did actually like connect it.
Or like if I talk about it, like anti-Censorship.
Yeah. No, there's some.
Sorry about the name, but it might just.
I mean, it's like that sign works. Warmer?
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be sunny today.
Well, I have bad news about that.
I know. Hopefully it changes.
I gotta be honest, like having filmed all of this today and it wasn't being renewed tomorrow, I think that it's gonna be hard to get people to go out and it's gonna be hard to get people interested. I kind of feel like just because I don't necessarily have a specific things to do, I might come out phone only, like so I'll live stream it, but like I don't know if it's worth me like bringing this up.
That's kind of how I was feeling about this. It was pretty
Yeah. I also have like a laptop. This car right now is really testing my connection to my live stream. Like there's a little piece of me that's like I'll walk with everyone, but there's a little piece of me that's like, especially with this, like not connected, that like I'm not sure if I actually want to march like this. I'll turn it off and they start to gas it. Please just go steer west. Everybody runs west and then haha, it's a kettle. Tricked you. Yeah. Right, please just listen. Don't you know this is station 9?
People start running into the wall.
And then the police are like, ha, fuck you again.
He knocks themselves out.
That would work at like a shrooms, like a psychedelic protest. Oh, see.
Right, and it's not drugs, because if you have Xanax, you can buy a gun. If you have Adderall, you can buy a gun.
SSRI.
Yeah, let them buy a gun, but marijuana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Wow, yeah, you're right. Well, if he gets arrested, they won't have to change it.
Oh, we don't have to arrest him. He's already been.
Oh, I just mean they'd let him keep his clothes. Like,
Yeah.
You're all set.
It could like draw so much more attention for him.
I couldn't dress like that on the street. I was like, I don't know if this green is a little too much. On St. Patrick's Day, I like put this on like, this isn't what I normally wear. I usually wear red. I can't imagine. What's the pants? All right. Okay. Nobody's. I'm gonna kill this feed. Okay. All right. To the people who are watching, theoretically, the group is marching to Google next. My little clamp that I use to connect the phone to the big camera actually like broke, so it'll be kind of hard to march with it anyway, assuming that they do that. I'll stick with them, so I'm going to film it on my HD camera, and if anything happens, whatever, I mean, I could go live again, but what I'll probably end up doing is just making sure I include that in the HD footage that comes afterwards. So, to everybody who was watching and wasn't sure, the building behind me is CNN, and basically the activists behind me are anti-censorship and pro-Julian Assange protesters who, for the most part, were talking about fuck CNN and fuck censorship. So, I will end with the same disclaimer that I sort of started on, or I guess two of them. Firstly, there were some views expressed in this live stream that, God, I hope YouTube doesn't want to take down. But just in case, I will include a countervailing view that COVID is real, Joe Biden's the president, you should go to CNN and check out countervailing views there. That was a countervailing view. That's the standard that YouTube described. So I hope that would be sufficient to make this live stream not come down if they take issue to something that any speaker said, and I don't endorse the speakers. With that being said, I did also want to add the disclaimer that the issue of censorship in particular is something that I have written extensively about, and so sort of stating my bias out loud, I think that this live stream was pretty raw. It just showed what happened. With that being said, I have, 4 speakers mentioned my work in particular, and so I think it's worth acknowledging that I, of course, am personally supportive of anybody who's supportive of my struggle with censorship online. And so in that sense, I just wanted to state that out loud. So with that, like, share, subscribe, check out the News to Share Patreon. I will have HD footage up later from all that happened here today. So once again, thank you for watching.